Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Babies with Knives. I'm Alice Pang, aka Lala Twitter on the boards. With me today is my co-host Brandon Powers.
Howdy, howdy.
And GMing for us today is Barak Blackburn.
Hi there, everybody.
He's going to be running CCVF for us. For those of you who don't know what that means Capes, Cowls, and Villains Foul. We were supposed to have two other players, but they have unforeseen circumstances, it seems. But we're going to reschedule with them and play with them another time. Today, we're going to play anyway. So,
yes.
Why don't you take it away, Barak?
Okay. So, you guys, you are playing two members of the Bat family. You are playing an iteration of Batgirl and an iteration of Tim Drake.
Yes.
And that's where we will start there. I don't know. Do you guys have any? So you guys have played this game before, right?
We played years ago. I ran it for Alice and two other friends of ours where I did a new characters, and they were defending a super mall where they were built on hot springs, and they had an ice rink. And so every time I was referencing the mall, I went through their ad campaign, and since it drove one of the players nuts, I made it longer every time. But it was like, hot springs and cool ice.
Nice.
And he got driven nuts, and so I just made it longer and more involved every time, and it was a good time.
Who did it drive nuts?
Nick.
Oh, okay.
So Alice apparently has no memory of the game.
No, I have no memory, so you will have to help remind me how to play this.
She's Gandalf. I have no memory of this game.
I have no memory of this.
And you guys, you are regular Supers gamers, right?
Yes, we play superhero games all the time.
Champions, Mutants, Masterminds, Supers. We're going to be doing Bash in a week here. Yeah, Icons. We've done some Fate or other things, but yeah. Marvel superheroes, Marvel Heroic.
Okay.
Powered by the Apocalypse engine. Lots and lots and lots of systems.
Sure. So I love superheroes. I love superhero games. And Capes Cowls was sort of my attempt at designing what I wanted out of a superhero game. Sort of after playing a bunch and running a bunch of superhero games and finding what I felt were the places where I wanted to do something different. So Capes, Cowls, and Villains Foul was born, which was a sort of a derivative of Cartoon Action Hour 2nd edition, and then Cartoon Action Hour 3rd edition jumped off of stuff from Capes, Cowls, Villains Foul. So they're different systems, but they are very similar and together. So,
look forward to learning it.
Yeah, so you guys have your characters. So the one thing with the game is that there's two. So you have like action scenes, which is where you'll do stuff like fight supervillains, and then over the rest of the issue, you have what's called an extended scenes. That's stuff where you might do like research and the stuff like that.
Okay.
As opposed to many games, you don't necessarily have stats. You have traits, and your traits show what you can do, and you can be creative with them and use them however you want to do, however it makes sense. So there's no what's Tim Drake's strength compared to Batgirl's strength? Well, it doesn't really matter because in the comics, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. So we don't focus so much on that. We focus on the things that the characters do, and we try and highlight the things that they do as opposed to the things that they don't do.
Okay.
Brock, you said doo-doo.
I did. Yes, that happens sometimes. So we're going to start sort of right in media res, as they say, and you guys have your versions of your characters here, and I don't know if you can post those up or do something or whatever, but these are very specific choices I made, and we may see as we play along why that comes to be. So, Tim, you are out on stakeout, and as you are wont to do, being a young man, you are playing the popular new game on your phone called Demon Folio Go. It's very similar to Pokemon Go. This is not unintentional. The whole point, very similar to Pokemon Go, is you sort of go out into the world. It's an augmented reality game, and you try and capture little demons and add them to your sort of register of demons.
This sounds like the best thing for superheroes to do while on patrol. I mean, just go out, find different creatures, and capture. That's actually, I think, brilliant.
Well, just wait and see. You'll either... So, with games I run, you'll tend to, at the end, you roll your eyes, or you'll say, wow, that was really detailed and fun. So, you will do one of those things, most likely. Batgirl, you are, at present, roaming the mall, as you are wont to do, hanging out with your stepbrother / boyfriend? Ex-stepbrother, I believe.
Okay.
And he is talking to you about... he's sort of chit-chat with you, and he's saying that, yeah, it was great. I went in there, and with Hope's mom was there. She was in the quantum realm, and she's Catwoman, I think. And we were in the quantum realm, and it was cool, and we shrunk down really small, and it was really neat. Other things that are happening in our town is that Tanya Harding will be in town soon for the Ice Capades. There's also a big match happening down at the arena, which is going to be like a boxing match, which is going to be Deadshot versus the Atom. And in the following week, President Dryberg will be coming into town as well.
Okay. And Brandon,
so any questions?
Nope. And I'm in the process of putting up the character portraits you provided us
Sure.
for the pre-gens,
Sure.
for the viewers to see.
Okay. So any questions on anything so far? So Tim's
Nope.
having a good time playing Demon Folio Go. Batgirl, you are at the mall, obviously in your sort of civilian identity, and chit-chatting there.
And I'm kind of going, shh, you're not supposed to be that loud about that stuff.
Okay.
Is Etrigan a capturable demon in Demon Folio Go?
Not yet, but there are, similar to Pokemon Go, there are sort of different rarities of things that you can capture throughout the game. But it's rumored that Etrigan is one that you can capture. Okay, no questions about anything so far?
Nope.
Okay,
I'm just trying to keep my stepbrother's voice down while he's getting excited and we're talking in public.
Well, again, he's talking about the quantum realm. He's talking about Hope's mom, who he thinks was Catwoman, but he's not sure. So I don't know what your take on that is. Anyway, you're at the mall. You're doing your thing. You're a big shopper. Tim, you're sort of out on patrol, and there was this big sort of Demon Folio Go sort of thing coming up, and you may be within 4 or 5 blocks of the Hall of Justice, and there's a bunch of people gathering around that are starting to sort of capture one of the more rare demons in Demon Folio Go. And it is at this point that I'm going to roll some dice here, and we're going to see what happens.
Okay.
So, well, you guys don't have any questions about anything, right? We're good with everything so far?
We're good.
Okay. If you had questions, I could answer your questions. If you have no questions, we're just going to plow forward, as I tend to do, and we will deal with the repercussions of that later. Okay. So, Tim, you're standing there, and you're sort of, you're up on top of a building, but you see the sort of demon you're trying to capture, and you're sort of playing with your phone like this, and you get hit with this sort of concussive wave. So I don't know how you're going to deal with that. That is definitely an attack on you. I got a 21 total.
Ooh, that sounds pretty brutal.
So the way things work, and I have your character sheets too, so I can help with them.
Okay. And
if there's things that you want to try and do, you can do them. If you have questions you want to ask, you can ask those questions. So.
I've got it.
Okay, so auto defend, I'll let you use once per scene. You can use it now if you want. That's fine. And again, you don't necessarily see anything, but you feel this sort of concussive wave sort of, whack you. You could, and again, you can link everything up together if you want. You're the smartest of the Robins, of course. You have best around. So whatever you want to do for whatever your traits are, we'll figure out what the number is, then we'll roll a die or dice, and we'll see what you get for a result. If you do not get to 20, You will take a setback token. Setback tokens are not the end of anything. You can take 4 of them in a scene before you go out. And even if you go out, it's not the worst thing in the world. Unlike other Supers games, what it means is go out, you get knocked out, and you'll be back for the next scene. Because that's what happens in comic books. So.
Okay.
All right. As the concussive wave washes over me, and looking at my chance to, without linking a lot of things, that with a wave coming kind of from nowhere and ambushing me, I'm just wondering, can I just take it?
You can. You still need to roll a d12 because if you don't get to within, so your threshold 10. Mm-hmm. So if you do not get to 11, and you would just be rolling a die. If you don't get to 11, you will be out for the scene.
Oh, okay. That brings what threshold is handling pretty well.
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and
just to pause for a minute, and you'll notice. So Batgirl will notice that she has a very high threshold and she has more control.
I have 16.
Which means that she has less in the way of traits. And so this is sort of a balancing factor for sort of characters who have less in the way of traits and are less powerful. So, if she was rolling a die right now, she would only need to get to 5 in order to not be knocked out. And she has more editorial control, which is sort of the hero points or whatever you want to use, whatever you want to think of for a mechanic that she can use to do cool things. And you can use those also when you get hit to do stuff and raise and lower. So you can just roll a die. You would have to get to 11, or you can, figure something out here.
Well, I'm going to go with my acrobatic. Mark that off for the round, which is acrobatic 5. And it's got no other bonuses other than a link effect, which I'm not using at the moment. And as that I'm on my phone playing around, the wave comes up and hits me, knocks me back, but I'm able to try and roll with it. Let's see how that goes. I've got a 12 on the die, so I end up at a 17. Now, do 12s explode?
Well, so the way 12s work, 12s are awesome. 12s are, in my opinion, one of the coolest sort of exploding mechanics around. So what happens with a 12 is it doubles the main trait that you're using. So for this, that would be acrobatic.
Okay. So I'm up to a 22.
That. So that would be a 22, which means you miss altogether. If you'd only got a 17, you would have taken a setback token, take anything. But what gets really cool is when you add a lot of traits together and you get all the linking and all that stuff, and you get a 12, then your primary trait explodes, and you can get results that are 30, 40, 50, 60, which is awesome. So you get a 22, you mark off your acrobatic. You are good as this wave of concussive force hits you.
And this is the extended scene?
No. We're starting in actions.
Okay.
So, Batgirl, same thing. So you're sort of walking through the mall, and all of a sudden, you feel this concussive force coming to whack you. And again, your total would be a 20 that you need to get to. So.
Yeah, I only need to roll a 4 on that. But I am.
Well, that's if you use no traits whatsoever. Right. And again, your traits will refresh after every action scene.
But the problem is I don't have access to all my traits right now because you said I'm in my civvies, so I don't have my bodysuit on.
Oh, you can. Yeah, I don't worry about that. You're a superhero. Like you can figure out a way to sort of deal whatever. My suit bodysuit is underneath my civvy shirt. That sounds good. Sure, you probably wouldn't have your motorcycle right now, but you could get to it
that's
eventually.
Fine. So I will call bodysuit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my half brother, my stepbrother. I'm not sure which one he is because I think that I know who you're talking about, but I'm not sure if he's half brother or stepbrother.
Who do you think it is?
Well, I don't remember the name. I remember the image in my head. I have the image in my head.
It's Paul Rudd.
Okay, now I don't know if that's the name because that name doesn't sound right for who I think it is.
It's Ant-Man. Does that help? Ant-Man
yeah. Okay. No. Movies? Yeah. I did think that it was Ant-Man.
See, that's the. You're like, wait, what?
Paul Rudd.
That's okay. We'll get there.
I was like brown hair, longish brown hair, and I'm like. So yeah, I think you might. I think I did think that it was like Ant-Man, but I didn't. Paul Rudd didn't. Sorry, it's early. Anyway.
No, it's fine.
Bodysuit. I am going to call Paul. I'm going to say, Paul, duck. And I'm going to basically use my body to turn around on it, to take the concussive blow in my back, and try and block for both of us.
Okay. Sounds
and
good.
I make it. I roll a 5. My bodysuit is 5, so that's 10.
So you will take a setback token.
Okay.
But you don't go down.
Okay. Oh.
So you're good.
I apologize. I thought that that just added to my threshold. Okay, cool.
No. Your threshold is your threshold
I have to take
is
it separately. That's fine.
You subtract that from the number, and if you're that far away, if you're more than that far away, you go. It's just like one hit, you're out. So this is to emulate the fact that in comics, frequently there are times where a character will get hit once and go down.
Cool.
So I wanted a way to do that. And have that be part of the game. So you just take a setback token, not a big deal at all.
Awesome.
So the enemies have gone, as have the two of you. So Batgirl, you were the last to go. We're going to start a new round to determine who goes next, because that's the way initiative works.
Fantastic.
So we have Batgirl, Red Robin, and whatever your enemy is. So
taking a quick look around, do I see anything that might have caused that concussive blast?
You do. You see a bunch of people playing Go, staring down at they're all staring in your general direction and making this sort of universal sign for trying to capture a demon on their phones by moving their fingers quickly.
Are we currently in the modern day? Or are we in the 90s? Okay, because you gave me 90s hacker, so I wanted to know if we
I'm aware, but you can 90s hacker you can use. That's fine.
Awesome.
I'm not going to tell you can't use it.
Great. I'm going to say, I'm going to ask Paul for his phone. Paul, let me see that. And
sure.
I am going to, at that point, hack the phone. And I'm going to try and hack into the local area of this game and see what is causing this.
Okay. So then you're starting off initiative, right?
Yes.
So just so we're clear, so you're at the top of the initiative order, that's fine. And you want to use your 90s hacker.
Yes.
And sure. So you can use that. That's just one die. I don't see anything necessarily that you want to link to it. You can push if you want. And pushing you will take a setback token. But
I'm going to link girl power to it.
Sure, girl power. So you close out a bunch of apps on you're sort of doing up, and you're looking for some sort of backdoor or to get past some sort of firewall to get into something. So linking girl power, that will give you a +3. So you are going to be at 11 before you roll any dice.
I rolled a nat 12.
Nat 12. So that will double.
That doubles the bonus to hacker. 22. So that is 34.
So hacker goes up to 16 plus 12 is 28. Nope. Yeah, and that's fine. And then you add the girl power, so 28, 31. So 31 is a very good roll. And we'll see what my roll against that is.
So the linked never doubles, right? Then okay.
Linked stays the same. Yeah, cool. It's the primary trait that doubles. So that goes 8 to 16 plus 12, 28 plus 3.
31.
So you're in the whatever the Matrix looks like whenever they show it in movies where there's all the numbers and everything twirling all around. You're sort of going into the back door, you go to settings, and you're sitting there real quick on your phone, and you're going in. And sure enough, it seems that the phones are somehow sensing you as sort of the shiny demon that needs to be captured and sending out these waves of sort of concussive plasmic energy. And it seems not unintentional. There is...
Try and trace what is doing that.
Sure, yes. You can. So you have given that system a setback token, as it were. Mm-hmm. And, you got a good roll there. And so who do you want to go next? You've got Red Robin. You've got your enemies.
Well, and I'm going to go over... at that point, I'll be on my comm links as I'm hacking. Robin, are you there? Robin.
Red Robin.
Yeah. but when I just call him Robin, based on...
I know, no, that's fine.
Okay,
I'm just
That's very
clarifying for him.
confusing. I mean, Damien might answer you, or
Okay, that's true. Sure.
Spoiler.
Red Robin, are you there? Fine. Tim, are you there?
Hey, secret identity much?
Sorry, well, Paul's been using my secret identity all day. Are you playing this weird demon game?
It's not weird.
It is weird, okay? Anyway,
Did something just happen?
yes, this game's trying to blow us up. Well, blow me up. I don't know if it's trying to blow you up, but I could use some help.
So could I. I'm out by the Hall of Justice, and there seem to be all these people playing it.
I'm at the mall. Paul's
What's going on at the mall? Are there criminals there?
No, there's just a bunch of people playing this game. Paul was trying to help me find a new pair of shoes.
I don't understand.
Josh. His name is Josh. The actor's
Sure.
Paul Rudd. So okay.
I don't understand. Why don't you just have Alfred do that?
Because it's a lot more fun to choose it yourself. Plus Uncle Alfred doesn't know what I like.
Right.
He always buys me these things that he thinks are so cute. And it's got did you see the last dress he bought me? He bought me this little, I don't even know what to call it, but it had this bow that was twice the size of my head that goes around my neck. That dress was awful, and he expected me to wear it. I mean, really? No, I am never letting Uncle Alfred shop for me again.
All right. So as we're on, I'm
Anyways,
taking cover
I really
behind
need
the
your
building.
help with this. There are a
I'm
lot
taking
of people
cover.
playing this.
I'm taking cover behind the building, and I'm looking over at all the people at the Hall of Justice to see if they're okay from this blast wave that has gone on.
So like I said, you're like a couple blocks away, and what you notice, and with Batgirl sort of explaining this Demon Folio Go, you look around, and sure enough, there are a bunch of people playing Demon Folio Go, and they all seem to be pointing at you, and as you sort of acrobatically jump out of the way, they all turn towards you, and they are continuing to sort of, activate their phone and do their thing.
Okay.
And chasing after him, going, he went around the corner.
Don't let it get away. Don't let it get away. Exactly.
All right. So I want to go ahead and jump down at the to the group of people, and looking
Caffeine
for something.
is kicking in.
There it is. Okay. I want to jump down to the group using my acrobatics and such, and I want to start telling them that they need to put the game down. That some of the supervillains of Gotham have basically infiltrated the game and are using it against the heroes, and so I want to try and convince these people to stop playing their Demon Folio Go. So for that, it seems like you need to be the best around to separate people from their phones these days.
Just a second. Gotta give me just a minute here.
Sure thing.
I'm trying to multitask. When I run games, I tend to bring all sorts of fun weirdness to the table. So,
Sure thing.
The other thing I'm doing is I'm actually pulling up a picture of me in front of the Hall of Justice.
Well, you can admit if you're playing Pokemon Go right now while you're GMing for us.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
All right. Because you're the best around. From the song. Okay, go ahead. So you're jumping down. What are you using? So let's figure out what you're using here. So you're the best around.
Best around, acrobatic, and likable.
Okay.
So that's a +1, a +3, and
add it to the 5 there. Yep. So 5 plus 4. So you're at a 9. And roll a die.
I am only sitting at a 12 after the die.
So they are not as you might expect with people sort of deep in. I don't know if you guys do Pokemon Go or whatever, but it's literally a game designed to have you just stare at your phone and ignore everyone all around you. They are deep in the mode of trying to capture this very rare, demon and add it to their folio, and so you do not make it. So I got an 18 for my roll. So mechanically, that's the response there. Let me see here, just if you're interested. There we go. I added a picture to the Discord. You can take a look. That's me in front of the Hall of Justice, believe it or not. It's the Museum of Science in Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So now our villains are going to go, and they're going to do their thing. Oh boy. So Tim, you've jumped down and you're standing in front of. Stop playing Demon Folio Go. And they're like, oh, it's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. And they're sort of going, and it's not good news for our friend Red Robin. I've got so I am just using my Demon Folio Go capture. It is one trait. Are you auto defending or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use the auto defend. Now, does that mean that I mark off my best around?
Nope, it doesn't count as a usage. You can do it. It depends the way you want to play it. I tend to do it. You can use it once per combat. The reason why I mentioned it is you have to declare before you know the number. Like you have to be like, I'm going to auto defend, and that's you automatically do it. So they're shooting you, and you sort of you visualize this energy coming at you, and you leap out of the way, which is good for you. Batgirl, same thing. You see a bunch of people that are staring at their phones, and they're trying to capture you with Demon Folio Go. Are you going to auto defend?
Well, given that I am engrossed in hacking right now, I am going to auto defend at this point.
Great, you can do that. Not a problem. So,
because I'm just my face is buried in Josh's phone.
Yes. So, you're at the mall. You're near the Hall of Justice. You would both see this. Walking through the city at several 100 feet high, you see Toyman, believe it or not. Let me find a picture here.
So what is Toyman, what is his means of conveyance at the moment? I'm assuming it's some sort of toy.
He is gigantic. He is about several 100 feet high, walking through the city, stepping over buildings.
Do we both see him where I am at the mall? Or
you see him like through the mall, like you're walking, look out, see this giant foot come clomping down, and obviously Red Robin, you're near the mall, so you see it there. And Toy Boy is yelling out, and he's saying, "That's right, Metropolis. It's the Legion of Doom, and we're here to take over once again." So the interesting thing is you don't see any members of the Legion of Doom except for Toyman.
Okay.
So take that for whatever it's worth. So that is everyone acting. Toyman's the last to go. Toyman will...
Just help me remember, being that it's early in the morning. Toyman is Winslow Shot? Winslow Shot?
I don't believe the movie Toyman or the Legion of this Toyman. There is a Toyman who I think is Winslow Shot, but it is not this Toyman.
Okay, so which Toyman are you using?
There's so
many different characters for different things.
I sent you a picture in Discord.
There's a picture in Discord.
Awesome. It just came through. Okay.
That's the Toyman I'm using, which is probably not the Toyman you're used to.
No, it is definitely not the Toyman I'm thinking of.
Which is not unintentional.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
All right, so who's up next?
So Toyman's gonna have player. So they are going to go after Red Robin. That's a 20 Red Robin, as they are trying to capture their, famed thing here.
Okay.
So now, the other thing to keep in mind is based on sort of what's happening here. If there's any point in time you want to try, you can. I don't want to call it multitasking, but you can use your traits to also for instance, Tim, if you were like, I'm going to use detective here, not only to try and maybe see what's going on, you can do that as well. So it's not necessarily just one action. It's sort of like what you're doing this time. If that makes sense.
All right. Well, actually, I was planning on
using.
planning on using detective, because since talking to them, even though I'm too likable, didn't seem to work. I want to use detective with my computer stuff and get my utility belt to come up with something, and smartest of the Robins, there's the last one, to come up with something that is going to basically work to short out the phones is what I'm working on, and since that's not necessarily offensive at the moment, but more defensive, might start with a getting protective around me to shield me from whatever radiation that they are putting out, whatever waves they're putting out to capture me.
Sure. So you're using detective, and what else?
Detective, computer stuff. So we start at a 7. Computer stuff gives us a +3.
That's 9.
Then...
So that's a 9. Well, if you were to use computer stuff and link detective, you'd actually be a little higher because your stuff is +2 linked with detective.
Oh, so that's not on top of the +3? That's like because you're linking to a higher ability, or why?
That's one of the things it gets. So when you are in the things, but you're using computer stuff as your primary. So if you use that, you'd be 6 plus. Oh no, it's +2 there. So then your detective counts as a 9, then +3, 12. You're good. Keep going.
All right. So run me through why that is, because my map doesn't get me to a 12. Yep.
You have detective 7. You have computer stuff, but then it's +2 linked with detective. So you're adding the +2 to the detective, and then you're adding the +3.
Okay, that is what I was thinking. So yes. That's 12.
So that's 12, yep.
Smartest of the Robins, so we're up to a 15, and then I'm pulling stuff off my utility belt. So that's a 16.
Got it.
And let's see, that's only 1 die. I think it's all just 1 die.
It is just 1 die, yes.
So 20. I rolled a 4.
Okay. You got a 20. All right, so obviously you picked up that the Demon Folio Go is connected to Toyman. That doesn't seem like that's too big of a stretch for you to make here. And I think, what did I tell you I rolled?
I don't think you mentioned what you rolled.
Okay. I got a 19, so you avoid any damage, and you avoid any setback token, as it were. And also, because you use detective, you're sort of sitting there and you're looking at Demon Folio Go, and you are sort of the sassy, computer savvy Robin, and we see the letters sort of forming up in your head around you. And as you rearrange them, Demon Folio Go would spell what? I'm going to give you a hint. It starts with Legion and it ends with Doom. Legion of Doom. Demon Folio Go. Legion of Doom. So, I'm here all week, folks. Thank you very much. That seemed like a Batman thing, right? All right. Yeah. So, Batgirl, same thing. There's a bunch of Demon Folio Go players looking to come after you, and they are going to roll, and I got a total of 20 that you need.
Okay.
So you can stack up your traits however is appropriate and figure that out. So you can use your hacker again, which will give you 2 sweet dice.
Yeah, so I
And again, it's not. Don't think. Most games have like a grid and they
Yep.
tell you where you are. If you were to say,
So-
I want to use my motorcycle, I would say,
No.
great. It's you running to your motorcycle and you're getting on and
I'm
whatever.
not running.
Like,
My motorcycle's coming to me. I already had the plan. So
Okay,
I am
cool.
going to be activating Hacker. I am also going to be linking Girl Power, Sassy, and Motorcycle to it.
Oh boy.
And I'm going, and as they're coming at me, we're basically playing live action video gaming here, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm dodging left and take that and that. Oh no, you don't.
Oh.
I can't believe he dressed me in that. He has worse taste than Uncle Alfred.
Okay, so just so you know, you're rolling. You're already at a 20 without even rolling.
Okay.
So mark off all those traits, and you're gonna roll 2
I'm
dice.
at based on my count, I'm at a 19 without rolling. I have to roll not a 1 on one of them. 8 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 17.
And then you get, oh no, you are at 19, because you get an extra 2 because you have Sassy's 2 dice, so the extra die becomes plus 2.
Yep. So,
It's fine, you're going to make it.
Yep, I'm
really
going to make it.
concerned.
Cool, so I'll make it.
With 2 dice, you're probably going to make it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
Sure. I rolled a 10 and a 9 on my dice, so yes, I made it very, very much.
Okay, so you keep the best die, you're great shape, you got it. Again,
Yep, 27.
you're picking up, you at the same time have this inspiration, you sort of turn your phone sideways and the letters, like, in your mind move around and you see that it's Legion of Doom. You like, Legion of Doom from the cartoon, and you see Toyman's in the distance. You easily avoid this attack, and they will, the villains will allow Batgirl to go. So Batgirl, you go next.
Okay. Let's see. I will. I don't really want to blow my Hacker again right now. So, at this point, have I traced traced it down to the machine that is generating and sending the signal out to all the phones? Is it with Toyman?
It is not with Toyman. You've delivered 1 setback token to it.
Okay.
You know, and
but I've been unable to track where it is because that's where I'm hoping to go.
Well, let's see if that's your goal. That's fine. Make a goal and we'll see where you end up. If that makes sense.
Sure. So I am going to get on my bat cycle, and I am going to Daredevil as well as Girl Power and Sassy my way on the links to. Okay, so mine says +2 linked with Bat Blade. So
Yep.
that means that I only get a +2 and it can only be linked.
No, you get the +2 and the +3.
Okay, cool.
So you get +5 total. Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I am going to Daredevil. So you see me get on my motorcycle. My motorcycle came to me, and then I hop on, and I say, Josh, hop on, and let him get on behind me, because I want to keep him safe. And
Sure.
then I hop onto the rail of the second story of the mall.
Love it.
Where the fencing is, and I start riding it to where the signal is tracking. And I say, hey, Josh, direct me. And I toss him his phone. Left, right, where?
Sure. Go ahead. Make a roll.
Okay. So this is my first time using the motorcycle, so there's that. I rolled a 10 on my die. So that is 5 plus 8 is, that's 8. That's 11. That's 16, and then that is 19. 19 plus 10 on my die is 29.
That's a 29. Okay, so just to keep things interesting and moving here, so you're riding your thing, you're trying to find the source of it.
Yes.
You got a total of 29.
Yes.
Unfortunately for me, I rolled a 1.
Oh.
So I add that to my thing, and so what ends up happening is you run out and you're sort of following the signal, and it is indeed located on Toyman on like his little utility pouch there.
Okay.
And you sort of race across the city, like do a jump up the side of the Hall of Justice, and you are able to not only smack the computer off, but you're able to hit Toyman hard enough that he goes down. So all you have left to deal with are the Demon Folio Go players, but they don't necessarily have much going on there. Demon Folio Go will probably diminish in power significantly as the main source of it has just been knocked down and crashed to the ground. Toyman collapses in front of the Hall of Justice, and so that's that. So you got an awesome roll. So who do you want to go next? You have Red Robin, because Toyman is out of commission.
If Red
so you got
I will pass it to Red
I
Robin.
rolled a 1 and added to my trait I was not within my threshold, so that means Toyman goes down. So that's 1 hit. Cool. So that was awesome.
So Red Robin's the only person I can pass it to. So Red Robin.
All right. So how does incapacitate work?
So incapacitate works, and basically you set a number, and each turn I have to try and hit that number, but it will go down a little bit. So it doesn't deliver a setback token, it just sort of like stops them. So it could be whether you blind someone, deafen them, it could be a force cage that sort of forms around them, whatever. So you don't necessarily, you're not, I mean, honestly, with Toyman down, you don't really have too much to worry about. You could, I mean, these are just normal people, and they're probably getting a server error now on their thing. So there's not much you need to do. I mean, they're not really a threat anymore.
Then, I want to extricate myself from their general area, basically. So use my grapple gun to get out of there and try and go hook up with Batgirl.
Okay. So you head over. So we'll end this like they all get it server error, nothing works anymore, and you end up and you drop down next to Batgirl, who's on the Batblade motorcycle, along with an Ant-Man, Scott Lang, who's out of costume, and exiting from the Hall of Justice as the Hall of Justice computer has alerted the rest of the Justice League that something's going on here. And let's see, exiting from the Hall of Justice. So you land next to Batgirl, and coming out from the Hall of Justice is Khal Drogo, Mockingbird, Deadpool, and there's one more I had. And if you're asking yourself, this seems really weird.
That's because it is really weird.
It is really weird, yes. Oh, so it's Mockingbird, Khal Drogo, Fandral, and Deadpool.
Okay. That's a weird team up.
Yeah, it certainly is. And so Batgirl, this Robin doesn't look like the Robin you're used to, who had little nipples on his rubber costume.
Okay.
Deadpool is singing. There's music playing as Deadpool. And here's the music that's playing. And that
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So he comes out, and they're like, "Oh, Red Robin, Batgirl, we're glad you're here. It looks like Toyman is, saved the day." And Khal Drogo comes up next to
They
Red
said
Robin.
Toyman has saved the day? Okay.
No, you saved the day.
Because you said it seems Toyman has saved the day. I'm like, I'm about to get ready to beat their faces if they said that.
No. Khal Drogo comes up and puts his arm around Red Robin and goes, "My man!"
Thanks. Do I know you?
Yeah, it's me. What do you mean, do you know me?
Well, you look like you're on an HBO show, but beyond that, I don't really recognize you.
I know you guys aren't official members of the Hall of Justice.
I'm glad your hair's not cut, though.
Sure, yeah. No, that's like, later, and, we'll do that for, like, cancer awareness and health. Sure.
I look over
like,
to,
so what?
to
Deadpool's
Batgirl.
like, that show sucked. It sucked. The ending sucked.
On my comms,
You guys are the
do
worst.
we know them?
I just kind of shake
As I'm
my
backing up
head.
a little bit. Josh, do you know them?
Josh is like, yeah, that's Cole Drago, and that's Mockingbird, and that's Deadpool, and that's Fandral.
Hey, Red Robin.
And so, as they say those names, instead, so as you're looking at them, you see Aquaman, you see Wonder Woman, but it's like Wonder Woman is just wearing like shiny blue pants, and you see Shazam, and you see Green Lantern.
Hey, Red Robin.
I think we've been trapped in the multiverse.
Well,
Different multiverses.
Well,
We're from different multiverses, but we've been trapped in another one.
Well, maybe we should find Hope's mom. Josh was saying that Hope's mom, he was trapped in the multiverse with Hope's mom recently, and maybe she can help us. Or are you sure we're not just?
Are you trying to say that she's our only hope?
Yes. Or are you sure that the other night when we got hit on the head in the alley, that we actually made it home after that?
I remember being home.
Yeah, so do I, but I'm beginning to wonder if we made it home.
So,
So other than getting a flicker, and was that to both of us of the Justice League that we're a little more used to seeing? Do we see anything else with them?
This song and this little sort of small figure, maybe about this tall, dressed in an ill-fitting Batman suit, pops up in front of you, and he's going da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, Batgirl and Red Robin, da-na-na-na.
I face palm for a moment.
Tacky much. Anyways.
What?
Bat Knight, what is it? How can we help you today?
Yes,
I don't know.
what he said.
I saw Toy Man. I thought there'd be toys. I was looking. He's got his phone out. I heard there was going to be some shiny demons for Demon Go here. And I thought you guys would be here, and I thought it would be fun. Ha ha!
So, us being here, did you do that? Are you the one that started all this, Bat Knight?
I'm really sorry for calling it tacky. I guess I have bad taste sometimes.
Did I do this? No.
Do you know who did do this, Batmite?
Maybe? No.
Come on, Batmite. You can tell me the truth. I'm really sorry that
I know.
called that song tacky.
And he comes up next to you, like leans up against you, goes, I would always tell you that. But I don't know.
Do you know where we are? Or what happened to us?
What do you mean? Where are we? We're in front of the Hall of Justice. And we have some of the Super Friends here, and Metropolis, because that's where the Hall of Justice is. What do you mean, where are we? And he goes, Ant-Man, high five. High fives him.
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man, yeah.
Like
Ant-Man, he stops. Jonah Hex had the Infinity Glove, and he stopped him.
Is there like an uncle
van?
woman?
Is there a what?
Is there an uncle woman then?
An uncle woman?
Yes. If he's Ant-Man, is there uncle woman?
This is my stepbrother, Josh.
He's Ant-Man!
I look at him. No, he's not.
Jonah Hex had the glove with all the things on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he was like, snapped his finger. And Ant-Man stopped him because he had a van.
Do I know that he's talking about the Infinity Gauntlet?
So, when I run games, I can never tell a player what they do or don't know. So you can use whatever knowledge you may have.
Red Robin,
So I can't tell you don't know the Infinity Gauntlet. If you know the Infinity Gauntlet, sure.
Red Robin, why did Jonah Hex use...
Red Robin, yum.
Why did Red Robin use the Infinity Gauntlet? And is that how we got here?
Jonah Hex used the Infinity Gauntlet. He went, snap.
Yeah, sorry.
And
why did Jonah Hex use
But then it was Cable, and he was like, snap. And Deadpool's like, I know that guy.
Did we get snapped here by the Infinity Gauntlet?
And he goes, Batman's like, my man, Van Wilder. Batman's like, did you get snapped here by the Infinity Gauntlet? No.
I'm gonna start trying to track down Jonah Hex and see.
Good luck. You'd have to go back in time because Jonah Hex exists in the past because he was a cowboy. He was Confederate, so he's probably waving a Confederate flag and he's like, "Make America Great Again." You don't want to find that guy. He's not going to help.
Well, who snapped next? You said somebody else snapped. Who snapped after Jonah Hex?
No, it was Cable. Then Cable. They fought Cable. But Deadpool...
And
Red Robin,
you know Cable, I say, pointing at Deadpool.
Yeah, Cable.
Okay, so I look at Deadpool. Deadpool, do you know where we can find Cable?
In the future, I would guess. That's where Cable's from, right? Come on.
Red Robin, this is giving me a headache. I think I'd rather have one of my boarding school tests right now than this. Where are we and what is going on?
I told you. You're in front of the Hall of Justice. You're in Metropolis. What do you mean, where are you? Don't you see the Hall of Justice there? It looks just like the Museum of Science in Cincinnati.
I'm going to go and walk into the Hall of Justice at this point.
Okay. You walk into the Hall of Justice. It's as you might imagine. Hall of Justice.
Great. Do I have access?
Does the Hall of Justice seem... Well, you're saying you won't tell us things that we know. I was wondering if it seemed weird to her, since she seems to come from a world where no such thing existed.
Sure. Like I said, I can't... Yes, there's no Hall of Justice in the George Clooney Batverse. So, correct. Yeah. But at the same time, you also know, like, yeah, this is the Hall of Justice. Of course it is. So you enter the Hall of Justice.
Okay. I enter the Hall of Justice, and I'm going to look for a computer system that I can interact with.
There's a big computer with all sorts of little buttons and gizmos in front.
Okay. I'm going to try and...
Here, I'll send you a picture of the big computer.
I'm going to try and hack it.
Okay.
So as far as I've been able to figure out, Batgirl, we've been trapped into some version of reality where our alternate dimensional selves have linked up.
So Red Robin, as far as you are concerned, like, this appears... So this Batgirl has blondish hair, so it's possible that it's Steph. But, like, it's not Babs, because the Babs Batgirl, you know, of course, is in a wheelchair.
Oh, now I see why you wanted me to play this rather than the Oracle.
Yeah, you didn't catch that?
No, I did not catch that before. But now I do.
Here we go. Here's the big monitor on the Justice. Just send it Discord there.
Cool. And it just came through. Okay, I'm going to start...
Because you aren't lining up with who I know to be Batgirl, and the way that you reacted to me, I'm not lining up with who you know to be Robin.
Right. That part I was well aware of that.
I don't think that your stepbrother is quite lining up to be
who I think it
you
is, or what you think he
to
is.
be.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and the
I'm
way
not used to you having stepbrothers.
So, and
kind of think of it. I'm not sure that I'm used to having stepbrothers, but
it's true. In your reality, Red Robin, so recall that Batgirl said that she was Alfred's niece, which is also weird because the Batgirl you know is, of course, the daughter of Commissioner Gordon.
So
yep.
I'm going to use the computer and see if I can find evidence of my parents being dead.
Sure, go ahead. Give me a roll here. So this is an extended scene.
Sure.
Erase all our usages
so
from
we
the action scene.
We reset our abilities. So
for the action scene, yes. For the extended scene, we'll track them. So go ahead.
But I reset from the previous is what happened, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to use 90s Hacker, and I am going to use Compassionate.
That's the computer makes all weird noises. So.
And that's the only link I'm going to make on that. I rolled a nat 12, so that's a 31.
What are you doing?
So nat 12 would double the
computers don't work that way.
It does for me. I always have.
That looks like it's done in a movie. There are not spaces on the internet. Address doesn't have a space. Oh, God.
Well, it's working just fine for me.
I glare at Batmite.
Batmite's like, ha, ha, ha. And this is not a Batmite either of you recognize, obviously.
Best Batmite
like,
ever.
I mean,
Brave in the Bold.
You know that it's Batmite, but it is not. They're like, and it's possibly changed his costume, but it is definitely a Batmite that neither of you know or recognize.
Oh, come on. Batmite could be anything.
I know. No, it's true. Batmite is all power.
So I got a 31. What do I find on my dead parents?
They're dead.
Okay. So
and
that
you're
part
Alfred's
stays.
niece.
So that's still true here. Okay?
Yeah. Well, that's still true to you.
I was actually planning on doing it myself.
So that's true to me.
Go ahead.
Therefore the computer system's telling me that information is true and there.
Batmite like sits on up on the little cot there, his head in his hand, and he goes, "I don't know what you're looking for, but you'll find whatever you find."
It's what we expect to find. Each one of us is holding our own reality together, and things will conform to that reality as best as this will allow, while still altering things. So if it's somewhat personal to you, like what you just did,
Robin, you're starting to give me a headache. I'm really confused about all of this.
If I'm giving you a headache, you should have waited for Nightwing to show up here.
Nightwing, haha! I wonder if you have the little sleeves, be like, "I'm Nightwing, disco, woo!"
Okay, so if we're all holding our own reality together, how do we get back to our own reality?
Well, we need to track down whoever's responsible for this. We've already gotten something on the Legion of Doom, but all we saw was Toyman. I'm wondering if one of them, perhaps Lex, might have done something.
So, go ahead. So, Red Robin, do you want to try and make some sort of here?
Batmite's already confirmed what my belief was.
You know, I really think I could really use some shopping therapy right about now.
Could really use a cocktail?
No, shopping therapy.
Oh,
shopping. I could really use some shopping therapy right now.
Sure, let's go shopping.
Out of character. This is so out of character for characters I play. I do not play the Valley Girl style bad girls. Okay,
sure.
But it's fun. I'm having fun.
Okay, so we're gonna and as happens, and because it's sort of a weird, surreal story, we're going to snap to the next scene. In the next scene, you guys are in the Bat Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting down to breakfast, and Alfred is there. And
how'd I get here?
Alfred is serving you breakfast, and you guys can continue chatting however you will.
What was it like working with Michael
here?
Keaton?
Weren't we just at the other?
Batlight. It was like sitting on the table and having like
Tim,
a bowl of cereal.
How did we get here? We were just at the Hall of Justice. How did we get here?
I glare at Batmite.
And he glares back at you. And he goes, because it's the next scene, I guess?
Hey, my favorite
do
breakfast.
We need to go through everything? I mean, you guys, how many times do you play games where you're like, oh, and then I have to go to the bathroom. How long is that going to take? How many actions will that be? We're in the next scene.
Game, huh?
Yeah.
Still seems to come back to games.
Batmite likes games, I take it?
Well,
sure.
Batmite likes to be entertained, but games is what I started with here. It's the first thing that I really remember was playing a game.
So, as Alfred sort of serving your breakfast, you guys look around.
It's your fault that I'm here. That we're here.
There are 3 Oscar statues, on the counter.
Is this Michael Caine or which version of
whoever
Alfred
your Alfred is?
Oh, okay.
But it is not. So as you ask that question, you're like, oh, yeah, no. Is it Michael Caine or is it Jeremy Irons?
Well, I'm going to at least at this point enjoy my favorite breakfast that Uncle Alfred made me.
Sure.
So while we're there, I want to I'm going to excuse myself, and I'm going to start using gathering some stuff up and heading down to the Bat Cave.
Yes.
And I want to basically
wait for me as I start grabbing my piece of toast and I start running after you.
I want to scan basically the resonance of the multiversal resonance frequency of both myself as well as the Batgirl that's with us against the general ambient multiversal resonance of the environment that we're in, and then look for anomalies to that outside of us.
Okay. So you're going down, head down, you sort of pull the statue forward, you hit the little button.
I grab my food and I'm following him. Wait for me!
By the way, do we see any red phones?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. And you sort of
I double take that red phone. Where'd that come from?
I think
Why am I hearing no? Where's that music coming from?
It is really too bad that Norbert was not here with his
1966
Batman.
Brandon, you should read Discord. Apparently, we need Norbert in order to finish this mod.
You do. We can do a little bit more, but it is sort of a sense that there is a Batman that would show up. But we can do a little bit more, and we can see where it's at. We can do we can figure something out.
Well,
that's not a problem.
If they're showing
I'm good either way.
Yeah, if you want to pause, that's fine. For me.
Well, no, we'll do a little bit more of what I'm saying, and then when it's time to pause,
I don't want them to miss a lot. I want them to have a full experience on when.
Oh, you can fill them in on it. It'll be even zany, but it's not going to be less to understand.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you head down to the Batcave again.
Adam West being down in the Batcave when we get there is cool.
Well, he's not there yet. If you want to pause, yes, we can do down in the Batcave. You do enter the Batcave again by putting the Shakespeare statue forward and hitting the little button. The bookcase slides open. You guys go down the back. So So that indeed does happen, and if you want, we can pause there and say that that's where we will see Nord, or we will see a Batman, which,
sure,
as you've seen the character sheets, is
well,
the Batman you're looking for.
Then in that case, I will pause it here for us. And any closing remarks we want to make before I sign us off?
No, I don't. I don't know if you guys had any questions for me or anything, or
nope,
or what you felt.
I had fun so far. Thank you all for joining us. We're gonna pick this up as a part 2 when we can get the rest of our players, it sounds like. Bye, everyone.
Adios.